I hate having to do vlogs like this, but I feel I just have to because of what I keep hearing and what people keep saying to me. So here it goes. Bali is not always as beautiful and picturesque and safe as we'd all like to think it is. In the last 2 weeks, I've had at least 3 friends who have been robbed or who have been scammed a little bit more ingenious ways than the standard sort of money changer scam. And I really need to point out to you what has been happening and try to give you a bit of a heads up. Now look, I'm going to start by saying, if you go to somewhere like New York or so many cities in the States or around the world, you've got a really good chance of being mugged, and they usually turn up with a gun or a knife and they'll hold you to hostage. Hold you to ransom, and they'll steal your wallet and your phone and whatever else. And that can happen on a subway, it can happen walking through Central Park, you name it. And that's just part of living in a multinational world where people find it easier to take something that's not theirs. Bali is the third world country. It's got a lot of first world activities and a lot of amazing people, and 99% of the people that are affecting these scams are not actually locals. They're imports, and they've come from out of islands of Indonesia or even from overseas, and they're here to exploit the tourism and exploit people who don't know any better. So I'll start quickly with my story. Last June, the beginning of June, I was out filming a pub crawl, part of my job here working with YouTube. And it was later in the evening, I was on my way home, I was heading down along the beach past Kuta, and I had a gold chain on. Now I've worn that chain all around the world. I've worn it in Africa, I've worn it throughout the States and Caribbean where I originally bought it, and I've had it for 20 something years. It's a big link chain, but it's quite flat. I noticed someone watching me as I went past as they were sitting outside the road. And as I took off, I was doing about 60 or 80 kilometers an hour, and they pulled out behind me and came chasing after me. And I thought, here we go, I'm about to get robbed. Now I've heard people have been losing phones or handbags or gold chains, and it's been happening. This has been like well back just after they've opened the borders, when things were still pretty desperate here in Bali, and there was almost no tourists. So there was a group of outsiders who were affecting these daylight or nighttime robberies. This was in the middle of the night too. The bike came shooting up behind me. I had a few seconds to react. I backed the bike off and slowed down because I figured the best way I could deal with this was to be on the ground face to face with these 2 young fellas. And as it turned out, as they came up to try to grab my chain, I smashed my bike into the back of theirs. The 2 bikes went over on the ground. One of the guys ended up in a bad way. He got a bit hurt. I'm really not upset about that. I got a bit hurt. I was a bit more upset about that. I ended up with a broken wrist, a couple of scratches, and a bit of claret off. And the owner of the other bike, the fella on the front, he ended up getting caught about 2 months later, doing it to a whole heap of other people. So he got his just desserts as well. Now, I haven't worn my gold chain except for a rare occasion since then, because it's not the place to be wearing anything like that that's attracting attention. If you're coming to Bali, leave your jewelry at home. I wouldn't bring a fancy watch. I wouldn't bring expensive jewelry. I wouldn't wear fancy earrings, because let's face it, you're on a tropical resort. You're in a place where you don't need all of those extra things, those luxuries and those fine things. Just come here and have a good time, go home and not regret it. So that's the first thing I'll say is don't wear jewelry, don't make yourself out to be a target, and also try not to be alone by yourself at night time. If you're coming over here with a group, try and stay with a group, or get a Gojek or a bike or a taxi or something home, because they're cheap as anything. And walking down a dark alley by yourself is just about asking for disaster. Now look, I need to tell you that most of the crime here in Bali, most of the scams and the rip-offs or the thieving does not involve damage, physical damage. Most of it is they sleight of hand, they'll grab stuff. Occasionally there's a bit of pickpocketing or something like that, but it's not necessarily aggressive. It's just opportunistic, and they're people that are just looking for people that are vulnerable. They're looking for an easy target. They're trying to make a quick buck or get away without you being able to chase them. Leads me to my next one. Last week, a mate of mine was over. He was at my wedding. Big Don from New Zealand. Now, Don is about the size of a small building. He is one of the biggest guys I've ever met. He's a giant big Maori. He's a martial arts expert, and he's works as a bouncer and a security guard and all that sort of stuff. He's the last person on the planet I would ever play up in front of, because he would be able to pick you up in one hand and throw you across the road. Honestly, he's a scary dude. His wife and him were walking home, walking down a quiet street, and his wife was looking at her phone to work out where they were going and if they were in the right alley or whatever. For a few seconds, a guy comes up, grabs the phone, jumps on the back of this scooter, and they take off down the alley. Now, Don's after him, and she was only 2 or 3 foot behind him, but it happened so quick. Don's chasing this guy down the road to try to launch himself at this bike. I tell you what, I wish I had been there to watch the reaction, but unfortunately Don didn't get a chance to get him, and they took off with the phone. No one got hurt, but there's a bloody good iPhone or something, probably brand new, that's down the Google. I'd even go so far as to say, look, if you've got an old phone or a spare phone, that's the one to bring over to Bali, because it could get wet, could get damaged, it could get flogged, or you might just put it down in a drunken stupor and forget where it's gone. In his case, you didn't get it back. Travel insurance should fix all that sort of stuff up, so don't stress over it. But I'd actually do a backup, and I've done this before. Do a backup on your phone when you get to Bali or before you get over here, so you've got all the updates and all the current information, just in case you need to do something about your phone. So there's number 2, is watch your possessions. If you've got jewelry, if you've got phones, if you've got handbags that are loose, there's not a lot of pickpocket activity. But here's one that a guy came up to me last week and told me about. Now, he was on his way home, downtown Legian, Kuta sort of district, a bit of the old sort of noise, the old silly district, I guess. And he had a lady that was coming up to him, and he was heading back to his hotel room, and this lady was saying, oh, you want a girl, you want jiggy jig, you want special time, or whatever. And she said, no, it's fine, my wife. And she said, oh no, and she's sort of rubbing him up and touching him and all, sort of trying to come onto him. And he said, no, please, leave me alone. And as he left, he checked his wallet, his shirt, and his whatever, and he got, geez, that was a bit, you know, I got my passport, I got my wallet, and I've got my phone. Thank God, because she was a little bit full on. And a few minutes later, he's gone back out of the hotel room. Now, I wasn't sure if it was to go outside and have a cigarette or to go and buy some smokes around the corner. But on his way back, just as he's coming in the door of the side entrance to the hotel, the same woman comes back up. Oh, you're back. Oh, you're so I look after you. And he's being accosted by her, and she's sort of trying to sort of feel him up. And it turns out all she was doing was distracting him, because the first time round she worked out where his wallet, where his phone and that was. The second time round, she's lifted his damn wallet, taken off, and he's gone back up into the room, and he said to his wife, some chick's just taken my wallet out of my damn pocket. Now, there'd be a heap of questions asked, well, what was she doing with her hands in your pocket? He did some homework, and he tried to chase her up, and they tried to find her. I haven't heard that he got his money back. I'd be absolutely amazed if he did. But pickpockets, again, are not common. They're something that might happen here. They're certainly very, very common over throughout Europe and other countries. Throughout the Caribbean, I've lived over there for a good while, and there's a lot of problems over there with that. But it's not something you tend to hear about terribly much here in Bali. It's not necessarily sophisticated crime. Another one that's actually getting a little bit more sophisticated was someone who's gone to a massage salon. Now, they've gone up for their little $10 back massage or whatever. They've got off the plane, they're all twisted up, and they want to relieve some of their aches and pains. So they've gone up, and the lady said, okay, it's $5 or $8 or whatever it was. So they've gone into the massage room. Now look, this happens almost every single day, and this seems to be a common way that people will get ripped off over here. If you go into a massage room and there's 4 or 5 girls all standing there and they're all trying to massage you and you've already negotiated $6 or $8, whatever it is, they're going to expect you to pay $6 for every one of those girls, not $6 for the massage. So they're all going to sit there and they'll crowd around you, and it's quite intimidating, and people are going to say, no, $6 each, $6 each. And you've spent half an hour having a massage with 6 people and it's just cost you 40 bucks or more. So be very careful. If you get more than one set of hands on you and you say, no, Satu, just one person, one massage. And if you don't like that, get up and walk out. That's a really common, they'll crowd you and they'll think they're all trying to make $1, and I understand, but you've just got to be firm and say, no, that's not what's going on today. I'm only paying for one girl, one massage, and over and done with. The other one, and it's really important, and this is taking it to a little bit of another level. I've spoken about this one before. If you have your head in a pillow or in that little hole in the massage table, be very careful where your personal effects are, because what happened to another guy this week was he went to the massage place, and it was a decent looking salon as such. It wasn't some sort of dodgy little out of the way place. And he's lying there with his head inside the little hole. He's gone home. His wallet was there. There was nothing appeared to be taken or anything. But while he's in there having his hour massage, someone's got in there, taken his wallet out, got the credit card, buggered off down the road, used his credit card for 3 transactions that were in excess of $1,000 each, and then got his credit card, put it back inside the wallet, put the wallet back in a little hole before this guy's even realised what's going on. Now that's a bit of sophistication, and that's pretty bloody unfortunate. Now luckily, 99% of times when something like that happens, you can get your credit card will cover you with their insurance. So that's why I think cash is certainly nowhere near as safe over here as credit cards are. And obviously, if you watched my video last week on cash, the cash exchange places in Bali for 30 years that I've been coming here are all talking about how they go. You walk in there with $1,000 or $100, whatever, and you walk out of there $600 lighter, and how they do it. So watch that video, because it'll tell you how easily you can get scammed at the money exchange places. Stick to the reputable ones. Stick to something with a glass front door, preferably a security guard or air conditioning, because it's nice and bloody cool in there. And be very, very careful. Make sure you're the last person that touches the money before you put it in your pocket after you've counted it. As soon as you count it, don't let them touch it, because that's usually when they get it. Listen, there's a heap more of silly little scams, and let's not forget the obvious ones. If you see a Chanel purse or an expensive handbag or something it's got all the right markings on it, and it looks like it's a Yves Saint Laurent or something, and it's $10, it's probably not real. Now, you're welcome to buy it, take it home. If it starts to fall apart, don't be terribly surprised. There's a lot of fakes, there's a lot of knockoffs, and there doesn't seem to be any copyright laws here in Bali. So look, it's buyer beware. The biggest thing is don't panic, don't get scared away from Bali, but don't come over here by yourself and go out late at night. Be careful what you're drinking in pubs, because I haven't heard too, because the drug laws over here are so sharp, you don't hear terribly many people getting slipped a Mickey or getting their drinks spiked, but you do hear a lot of people that get drunk on the Iraq, or someone will give them a bit of a tainted cocktail and they get so drunk that they don't know what they're doing, and before long someone's taking advantage of that. So I see it all the time. I see ladies walking home by themselves and they're staggering drunk, and you think, oh my God, that poor girl's going to get herself in a world of strife. Luckily, the bouncers around these places are usually pretty good, and they'll usually come to your rescue and call you a cab or something. But bit of buyer beware, be careful, stick to open areas, get a cab or get a Gojek and get yourself home safely. Don't keep big amounts of money on you, leave that back in your hotel room. Just have what you need at the time. Don't leave credit cards that lying around, and most of all, be careful. When you come over here, if you're going to turn up to Bali, jump on my YouTube channel and also jump on my Facebook. Make friends so that when you come over you can let me know you're here, because we have these these meet and greet nights. We have seafood feasts. We have a whole heap of activities that I love to do and catch up with the people that have been watching my vlog. So if you're subscribed to me and you want to come over here and have some fun, you want to catch up, get some advice, get someone that you can ring up at the moment's notice, say, Muzzle, what do I do? Help me out. That's what my job is. So here to help you guys have a good trip, have a safe trip, and get home safely. So make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you join me on Facebook, and make sure you let me know when you're coming so we can have a beer together. See you guys, have fun, stay safe.